All right, all right. So let's go ahead and look into something more within our reach. But if you're watching and this is for you and this is just up your alley, knock yourself out, bid for it, and go for it. But this is not something I would be interested in anyways. So I would come back to the homepage and I will go to contracting opportunities. Now, in my case, this is what I do. So if I were to log in here right now, you would realize I already have certain settings that have already been set that helps me tailor my search. But in your case, we're going to do advanced search. So, what are some of the filters we want to put in place that helps us better tailor our search for what we want? Yes, definitely active. We want it active, most definitely. Do we want to set aside? I am a small business, so I might definitely just search for set asides, but nope. So these are different criteria you can look into, if you want to check just federal organization. And also, that's a key thing too. I forgot to mention this in our previous videos. So, when you are registered with SAM.gov, right, you can choose to either be a federal contractor or a local contractor. If we were going through the registration process, you would see that, but we are not going to do that. In fact, what am I talking about? Let's just try it. Let's just try it. Pop, 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 pop. Get started. About registration, set up a SAM.gov account, prepare your data, and get started. Before and the registration checklist. Let's see what they require for a checklist. I told you, these people are really good, eh? For all award registration. So can you see this? Are you seeing based on the requirements, if you want to bid on everything, like myself, I can bid on any and every contract on SAM.gov. You need more. You need more. These are more requirements. You see that? But if you just want financial assistance, these are the requirements. What did I tell you? I told you if you're registered with SAM.gov, you can get grants from the federal government. We did mention that, correct? Here it is. Here it is. So for you to be able to obtain a UEI, you need to have a legal business name. What did we say you needed to have a business? A physical address. A physical address. Remember, some businesses have virtual addresses. With a virtual address, you cannot get approved for SAM.gov. It has to be a physical address. Date of incorporation, statement of incorporation. For entities outside of the United States, you may need to provide alternative information. Can you see that? Yes. And then an NPI for non-US entities only. So this is a beast of its own to go about getting this. That is a whole beast of its own. So for the businesses that are within the United States, that's what you need. So they even go further to break it down. The organization start date and all of this information, those are the information. IRS consent form, that is to make sure this business has a taxpayer identification. Or a better still, yep, that is it, the taxpayer identification. They have to verify this with the IRS. Now, what you need is a cage code and you will be needing a UEI. So the cage code is for US entities. The N cage code are for non-US entities. I do have a cage code and I have a UEI. So those are all parts of the processes you will need to. So that is a procedure. So you can see that. So here, this just gives you everything you need to gather for you to even begin the registration process. So yeah, it's a lot of, but yeah, it is doable though. It is doable. So where were we? Search. There we go. So how do I tailor my search? I go to advanced search. And also you can use a search editor. I didn't tell you that. It is also like a filter. It is a filter you get. But it helps you. Can you see that? How to do that? But now it searches specific. Specific. It is more specific than a simple search. Like you're searching for some key words, like a phrase. You're searching for a phrase. You can exactly like the example says on there. But I love me an advanced search. Advanced search. Don't reset that. Contract opportunities. There we go. Set asides. Pop it up. Active dates within 3 months. I always like to do within 3 months. You would agree with me that's enough time to gather all the information we need, correct? The moment I do this, you're going to see it start populating information. Booyah. Updated date. The past day. You want to do the most recent. Meaning it was just updated. Notice type. If you know what you're looking for. Are you seeing this? You remember we talked about some of this, right? Pre-solicitation, when the government comes into the market to source for information in order to prepare how they want to go about their solicitation. Award notices, depending on what you're searching for, you can tailor this specific to that. Product or services, NAICS code. Now, can you see that? Construction, information, finance. Are you now? Remember, what did we say about 2 digits NAICS code? The 2 digits NAICS code are so broad. Look at it, just says construction, utility, manufacturing, wholesale trade, retail trade, transportation. You and I know how vast that is. That is so massive. It is a broad category. But the more you go down, it starts getting to the 3, 5 digits and 6 digits. Then that's where you're getting more specific. So this is normally where I would want to be right now. This is where I would be interested in. So in this case, administrative waste management and remediation services. This is where I would want to be. But just for the fun of it, let's go and look for specific NAICS code so we can, holy moly. Okay, when we talk about the federal government has money to spend, right? Look at that. Look at that. Can you see that? Can you see this? $249 million unrestricted. What did we say some of the advantages of being a government contractor is? It can be a stable source of income. Meaning when you get that winning streak going, oof, believe you me, you will be doing good. I mean, you might not become Jeff Bezos, you might not become Elon, but hand to mouth might just not be your problem again. So, all right, let's go check for next codes 2023. Booyah. So, census.gov. We are going to click. Normally, you can come here. This is the NAICS association, correct? But I just go with .gov. There is just something about .gov that just makes me sleep easy. Okay? So, this is their official website. This is the official website for NAICS. Can you see that? North American Industry Classification System, NAICS. We had already defined what NAICS is and how important NAICS is when it comes to government contracting. If you haven't watched that video, the link is just going to pop up right up here. Follow it. Just go through that video. I know it might be a little bit long, but just go through it and it will give you some foundational knowledge of what we're talking about here. Okay? Now, in this case, as we can see, this is the different updates. 1997, 2020, 2002. Are you seeing? So 5 years. I was correct. It is updated every 5 years. I was correct. Every 5 years. We want to go to the most current one. Click on this one. So this is it. This is it right here. But what are we most interested in? We want to download it. Is that correct? We want to have our own copy of it. So we would go to downloadable files. So as you can see, they do have a ton of files. Too much information. So this can be an overload for so many people. But what you want to look for is, if you are just diligent enough, just read. This is the manual. The manual explains how the NAICS works. So if you are very interested in knowing more about NAICS and all that good stuff about it, knock yourself out. You can download that PDF and read about it. Also, this is going to tell you how the structure has changed. Remember, NAICS from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, correct? And to 6 digits. How that has changed, you might just see all of that ancient history in there. The summary, description, industry code references. Now, that is it. You go in there and that will give you some references, right? It gives you, I would say, let's download it. We might very well go ahead, download it. I know I already have them, but I'm just showing you how you would go about it. There it is. You see how different this is? Now, this is a general description you get. But this is too dirty. This is just too much. This is cross references and all of that. We don't want this. Well, there are points, there are instances where you would need this information, but for you right now, us, the middleman, we don't need this right now. We don't. So we're just gonna discard that. So what we want is the 2 to 6 digit code file. This is what we want. If you want just the 6 digits, you can get it, but this is where we're gonna go with. We're gonna go with the 2 to 6 digits, and this is what it's gonna look like this. Can you see it? This is the sequence, the next code, and their titles. This document, this specific document, if you download this document, this is what you get. You get this. You see how the 2 digits are brought? All right. Now, for those of you who know how to search Excel, you can search. This is what I want to look at. Did you see that? I just did Control F. If you do Control F while you are in Excel, it will pull up this find bar for you to find specific information within all of this jibber jabber. I didn't have time to start scrolling down. That would have been a lot of scrolling. Look at that. I didn't have time to do all of that scrolling. So I just searched it. Boom. So this is what I need. Remember, this is the next code. Correct? So let me copy this. Capiche? And let's go back to our search engine. Boom. Can you see that? Booyah. Once I have done this, all right, I could still come here and search the word janitorial and it will still pull up the information. But do you know why it is good to always go with the next code? Let me show you why. We already have this next code, correct? Okay, let's do janitorial. Let's search janitorial. Boom, 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 boom. How much data do we have? 1 of 1. Impressive. Can you see that? Okay, let me see if we were to do based on the next code. What do we have? We still have 1 of 1. Huh, that's impressive. So yeah, but I know there are instances where if you just search the keyword, it gives you different opportunities that are not necessarily the information you're looking for. Meaning, for example, the cabin one we're talking about, if they had just mentioned something in that solicitation like janitorial, meaning easy to clean or something like that, the chances are the key search is going to pull that up. But we don't want that. We want just things that are tailored to us. Okay? Updated time. Then you come here, you say sort by, notice title A to D. Yeah, we can do that. But let's just leave it at updated time. And remember, we did say we wanted, what did we say? Time. Response date of offers due in 3 months. Can you see that? Next 3 months. But what did I say? SAM.gov would try to find things that meet your criteria. Meaning, when it comes to janitorial, these are some of the closest or farthest dates you can find to meet your search. So do not have a lot of hopes that they're just going to have a lot of opportunities that are due in 3 months' time. No, it will show you ones that are due tomorrow, if it's possible. Okay? So, but in here, we have janitorial services. So, let's look. Agriculture, Department of Defense, they seem to have a lot of money. Custodial service, that's a good one too. I've heard custodial services are good. Janitorial service, 6 locations, defense. These guys got a lot of money, eh? I hope we can take some of that money. Range food, agriculture. You know what? Let's look for one that is a little bit further away. Offer due April 5th. Is that the farthest one we have on this list? April 4th. May. So this gives us a month, correct? How about we try this one? This offer was posted yesterday. So this is a good one. Let's go ahead and do all of that good stuff, can we? Yes. As we know, there is the solicitation ID, Department of Defense, the Air Force, and the office. Current response due date May 12th. That is more than a month away. We should be able to do that. Notice original pre-solicitation. Okay. All right. Updated. This might just be a pre-solicitation notice, but let's go in there. Oh, no. Let's see. Okay. All of that good stuff. We know all of this good stuff. We looked at it. If you have not watched that video, what all of this mumbo jumbo is, the video is right up here. Just check it out. Central Standard Time, that is my time. Next code and location. So what is the description? The purpose of this synopsis is to publicize the forthcoming acquisition of custodial services. This acquisition is to provide custodial service for Shepherd Air Force Base, SFB is AFB, Texas, and Frederick Auxiliary Air Force, Oklahoma, located approximately 65 miles northwest of SFB. Okay, so you did remember we talked about the pre-solicitations, correct? This is one of those. A lot of people do not partake in this. This is something I wouldn't mind doing, because we help the federal government tailor what it wants to, like, we help it better understand its needs. And it works in our favor in the sense that if we can go into the market and give it as much information as we can, it helps them budget for this solicitation. They can come up with a rough estimate of what their budget should look like for this solicitation when they eventually, and they did put that in there. You see, we also mentioned in that video, it does contain a lot of information. We did talk about the ability of long-term contracts. If you look at it right here, if we just look at this, if we focus on this paragraph, the 82nd contracting squad anticipates issuing a competitive solicitation for a firm fixed price contract. What did we mention? We mentioned types of contracts in passing, and this was one of them. What this means is this price is not going to change. It doesn't matter if the market changes. This price is not going to change. Once you agree on this price, you got to stick to this price. You have to. But that is not necessarily true in the sense that I have seen cases where it changes. But the solicitation number is the project performance period is a 5-year ordering period from October 24 to October 24, 2024 to September 30th, 2029. Look at that. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. If you are able to secure yourself this contract when eventually the solicitation goes live, in 5 years, this is just going to keep paying you. This is just going to keep paying you. As a middleman, do you understand what that means, correct? This is beautiful, you know. It is easy for some people to get their first win, and it takes some people a little bit of time, but believe you me, once you get traction going, it is good. It is beautiful, and I believe we can do that together. So, as usual, they have the FAR and everything. Oh my goodness. In accordance with FAR subpart 19, this potential acquisition is 100% set aside for small businesses. The North American Industry Classification System NAICS code is janitorial services, and the size standard is $22.0 million. $22 million. You heard that right. This is in accordance with this. There is no way you cannot tell me the federal government is not out also looking for small businesses. True, all the time we want to scream about them screwing the little guy, the small businesses. But look at this. They can go a long way with this kind of set asides to help. Now, I don't know what is going on with this browser. You know, it didn't used to do this. Now it's just doing this for every single document. But as usual, we do, in the previous video, we just talked about it. We know what this information is. But what is important in this one is they have both a primary and a secondary point of contact. The primary is Jessica. But however, if you were unable to get a hold of Jessica, you can get a hold of Lauren. Can you see that? So that is good. That is good. So this is a pre-solicitation, and you are more than welcome to go in there and give them as much information as you want. Let's see what kind of documents they have on the dockets for us. Anyways. Give me a moment. I'm pulling up Firefox. We had closed it out. Firefox. Let's fire up that fox. Okay. No attachments. So in this case, we're just going to be forwarding those information, whatever we can gather, to this or this. In most cases, I just CC both of them. I send it to the main one and I CC the other one. So, but this is it. Contractors Can you see this? Contractors are solely responsible for monitoring the internet to download the solicitation and any subsequent amendments. It is your duty. It is not their duty to do that. Here it is again. The point of contact regarding this synopsis is Mrs. Jessica Beckley. Oh, Mrs. Sorry if I screwed your name. Mrs. Jessica Brinkley Mueller. Add that telephone number, email address, contacting office of Ms. Lauren. I'll not even try to butcher that name. But Mrs. Lauren, yep. So, exactly. So, I guess that one wasn't all it, but I'm glad we did touch on that solicitation though. It gives us a view of types of okay. Now we are back here. April 5th. That barely gives us enough time. Do we have enough time for that one? April 5th. These are all synopses. Okay, this is due in, man. Synopsis. Can you see this? This is both a synopsis. This is a combined synopsis / solicitation for commercial. March 22nd. This one is due in 2 days. Aha. Solicitation is now posted. April 4th. Okay. I would really want us to do this one. Okay. All right. Okay. So we will be looking at this one. So as we saw earlier on, we were able to see what a pre-solicitation looks like and what it entails. So that was good. That was good. That was a good exercise. And not to keep this video too long because sometimes they go way too long and that's just difficult for some people to just see through it. So what we will do is in the next video, in the following video, if you want to see how we go step by step, how to break down some of this and how to go about gathering the necessary information we need in order to post the bid, just follow that video. Follow the video up. All right. See you in the next video.